Hi guys, I hope you all are fine. So in my previous video I have talked about the tense and toleration. So if you haven't gone through this the tense and toleration, so why we use these things, so you have to visit this my previous video. So today I come up again another video which is also related to the Kubernetes. So the today's topic is static port. What is static port and why we use the static ports in the Kubernetes. However, we have a very much useful the deployment set we can run the pod as well, single pod, we can run the deployment, we can replica set, we have the replication controller. So why we still need these things instead of we have much better use things are in our bucket, in the Kubernetes bucket. Okay, so there is some use cases of the static port, so where we can use it. So before that, let me just give you overview about this. If you have an let's suppose I have the master and I have the worker, and this worker is worker 1, and this worker I have already another one, worker 2. I want to be launch a pod. So how the pod will be launched? The pod will be launched with the help of to communicate to kube. Whenever you done the kubelet kubectl create pod -f or your pod file name, so it will be go onto the API server. Then the API will communicate to the scheduler, and scheduler will see where we have so much resources available, or having some great rules in it, having some having some having some intelligent algorithm it has, so that after these analyze all the thing, means where we have the less resources. Let's suppose we have a less means very less resources are used in the worker node 1, so the scheduler will decide that it should be launched on the worker node 1. So it will be done by kubelet actually. In kubelet will go to the Docker engine, and then Docker engine will run the container. Okay, so but so it's not directly, means a kube scheduler will give the instruction to the kubelet. So kubelet will instruct to the kube API, then you need to be go, and I have decided this port should be launched on the worker node 1. So kube scheduler will give this task to the kube API, and then kube API will contact to the kubelet actually, and the kubelet will is a agent which is installed on the worker node in your Kubernetes clusters, and that he is the responsible one, whatever done the things have been done in the Kubernetes worker node. So kubelet will take this request and go to the Docker engine, and then launch the container according to the kube API. So this is how the pod is run. So but right now, is it possible that we can launch the pod without scheduler? Okay, so so launching in the pod, we need a huge cluster and their components. Okay, we need these things. So means if I talk about the core thing, so we need a master server here to launch the pod. So is it possible to launch the pod without scheduler? Or what if we means a whole master pod whole master node is goes down. Can we launch the pod on directly onto the pod? So the answer is yes. Yes, we can launch the pod without the master, without master, and without scheduler. So if there is no master in your Kubernetes cluster, so can we launch the pod? Yes, we can launch it, but it's not a recommended one, because I will show you how to launch this thing. So but without master, it's not a good thing or recommended thing that you need to be launched this thing. But in some use cases you have the master one, but still you need run a pod without scheduler, without master to take these responsibilities of that pod actually. So that pod which is launched without this thing, without these two components, one is the master node. If you don't have the master, and if you don't have any no scheduler, or maybe you have the scheduler, but right now the scheduler pod or scheduler service is down, there is no service available. So and we want to launch the pod, so we assume that these two things are not available right now in the Kubernetes cluster. So we are assuming this thing right now. So can we launch the pod on the worker node? Yes, we launch it. So how can we launch it? And that pod which is launched without this thing, that pod is called static pod. So that pod is called static pod. So how can we launch the static pod in the Kubernetes cluster? So let me just give you a little bit idea about this. Is my master node, and I'm going to launch my pod. So I have the pod, and let's see, I don't have any node selector. I don't want to use. I have the simple containers and HTTPD. So just let me create. So for you right now, the create minus pod. So it will be launch. So just create pods. So it's creating. So why is still in creating? Let's describe this one. Describe pod and the pod name. So actually it's pulling the image. So we have to wait it. Once it's done, so my pod will be launched. So there is no such issues come over there. Okay. So means to describe this pod, we can see that there is some container, and this having the image of this one. So it's now in running state, I believe. So you can see the schedule the pod. Scheduler will successfully assign the default pod web onto the node 2. So after the rest of other things will be done. So it's now running. Means right now, and it is who handle this pod right now. So you can see means node selector, and there is some one more parameter who handle this pod. Right now it will be you can see here there is a node which is node 2, and somehow you can see a master or any node who is handle this thing. So right now is worker node 2 is handling this thing. So currently is handled by a kube scheduler. Actually schedule means default scheduler will use here, and is assigned that to the node 2. So how can we launch? Actually it right now it's just launching with the scheduler. We have the kube API, then kubelet, and then node 2, and means create this container pod. So how can we use means a static pod creation, and what are the main benefit of that one. So let's suppose I want to my master server has been down. Let's suppose I have two here right now, master server and my both master server has been down, and I want to be launch my pod, or in some case I have the use cases that my master server or my scheduler will never be schedule my pod. It will be handled by directly my node 3. So can we do it? Yes, we can achieve this thing with the help of directly launch the static pod in the with the help of kubelet, because I have told you that all the things are handled by on the worker node is kubelet. Okay, so let's move on directly. I am assuming that my both nodes have been down. So for that one I just copies this thing. So I will tell you why I am going to this one. So right now so let me move on my node 3. This is my node 3 actually, and let's see because we know that all the things are handled by a kubelet service which is run on your worker node. So this is kubelet's service is running perfectly fine. So and if you need to know more about this detail, so you just kubelet do it, and here is the configuration files and all the parameters come up. So there is some here is some config file where we tilt or make changes the over kubelets file. So let me show you about this file and what we have in it. So we have so many things in it. So we have this API kind and all the C groups and Kubernetes and the address of this node, and we have the DNS and then CPU memory resolve. So one of the main thing in this node here that we have the static pod path, which is etc Kubernetes manifest. Okay, so right now what we have in it, so let me just copy this one. So let me show you what we have in this path. Right now is an Nginx proxy. I have just testing something. So one pod have been created here. So in kubelet, what kubelet is service is doing, it continuously check this path. If something come up in this path, so it will be launched that one, and it is handled by only by this particular node. Okay, so it will be continuously watching this path, and whenever the file will come up in this path, so that path means that file will be launched, and then your file means and your pod will be launched, your service will be launched by this kubelet service directly. We are just creating this thing. So for that let me just delete that pod for assuming, so we will make more clear it. So let's move on to the my particular path, and right now we I'm going to this etc Kubernetes manifest. So I have just only one file, so I am creating the pod YAML here, and I just put it this file. As soon as I put, so let me show you for this string. So there is no pod is right now is running, but we have created a manually created a file, or our at the end of service of the file of the configuration of the pod. So I just whenever I just save this file, it will be launch it will be my manifest file. My kubelet will check this path, and it check that this file has come up, so you have to be launched this one. So let's see is it launched or not. So you see the pod is come up. Before it was not. So when I hit the just save this file, it come up in this path. Kubelet service continuously looking this path, so this pod is launched. So this pod is launched successfully as a static pod. So you can see the naming convention of this one. You have the name of your port and then who handle this port. So it says dash node 3 is handle this port. So if I delete this port from my master node port, so my port delete, still it will be run. See, it's continuously running. So it, because it's not handled by, because kubectl will always talk to your kube API and kube API will go to the kube scheduler or get the data, your ports from the etcd and show you all the things. But right now it's not handled by kube scheduler or master node, so it's also running. See, it's also running. Let me describe this port so you will see more, I think, on it. So this is right now means a kubelet directly. Previously you see the kube scheduler is doing this thing, okay. So but now right now it's means doing by kubelet directly. And what we have some changes come up or not. So you can see the node 3 is handled right now, okay. So previously in your means you can go and check that it was handled by master server or something, or controlled by. I was just actually talking about the control. So in previously you will see the control parameter. The control parameter, it may be a master one or scheduler one, okay. So right now it's just node 3 is actually control this port. So this port is called a static port. Even we are trying to delete it, but it's not deleted. So if you want to delete this one, so you just nothing to do, you just move this. Let's suppose I just delete it. So it's now gone, okay. So in somehow in your case, maybe if you need a service need to be launched and that not by handled by your master server, okay. So you have to launch that port as a static port. So we have multiple static ports we have, I believe. So you can see get ports. Let me show you the ports. So you can see there is a kube API server dash node 1. So it's mean this port is launched by with the as a static port of node 1 and then node 2. We have the controller same node 1 and node 2. We have scheduler, we have node 1, node 2. Even we have the delete these static ports, it will be relaunch again, because it will not be managed by Kubernetes kube API server or kube scheduler. So they are all static. So how we can check that there is same as it is, just ps minus aux and kubelet. So let's see what is the file of the Kubernetes. We believe there is same file manifest, yeah. So here you can see the 3 files are here: kube API, kube controller and kube scheduler. So these are all are the static ports. And why we use it, we have some use cases over here. So so guys, I hope you understand the concept of static port, why we use it, and what are the main cause to use the static ports. If you have some application where you have to be launch in particular node, and that particular node means that port never be launched or handled by your master node or your scheduler. So this is the use case of kube static ports. I hope you understand well. If you have any problem, so please let me know. So I will try my best to fix your problem. We will talk about more about my upcoming videos. Thank you guys watching for video. Bye.